Did you know that over 90% of transmission failures come down to just one tiny part? Welcome to Car Care HQ. Today, I'll show you the 20 warning signs of a bad transmission shift solenoid. So, what's a shift solenoid? It's a small electronic valve that controls how transmission fluid flows, allowing your car to shift gears smoothly. In an automatic, it takes signals from the transmission control unit and makes each gear change happen at the right time. Whether your car is automatic, manual with automated shifting, or continuously variable transmission, the shift solenoid plays a huge role. You'll usually find it inside the valve body or built into the transmission control unit. Catching these symptoms early could save you thousands in repairs, so let's dive right in. Here are 20 signs of a bad transmission shift solenoid. 1. Slow gear changes. One of the first things you'll notice when your shift solenoid starts failing is that your car takes longer to change gears. You press the gas pedal, and there's an awkward pause before the transmission finally shifts. Sometimes it's just a second or two. Other times it feels like forever. This happens because the solenoid isn't working fast enough. It's supposed to open and close instantly, letting fluid flow exactly when needed. When it starts going bad, that fluid gets delivered too slowly. The gears can't catch at the right time, so you feel that weird delay. You'll really notice this when you're trying to merge onto a highway or speed up from a red light. You need power right away, but your car feels like it's thinking about it first. This isn't just annoying, it's also hurting your transmission. The delay puts extra stress on the parts inside, and the longer you drive like this, the more damage builds up. 2. Stuck in one gear. Imagine you're at a stoplight, the light turns green, and you press the gas. But your car won't shift past first or second gear. The engine screams louder and louder, but you're barely moving. This is what happens when your shift solenoid completely stops working. When the solenoid can't control the fluid properly, your transmission literally can't move to the next gear. You might get stuck in a low gear and can't speed up, or stuck in a high gear and can't get moving from a stop. This is really dangerous, especially with automatic transmissions where you can't control the gears yourself. Your engine has to work way too hard, running at crazy high speeds while your car barely moves. All this extra work creates massive heat that can damage both your engine and transmission. If this happens to you, get it fixed immediately before everything breaks down completely. 3. Random gear shifts. When your car suddenly jerks and changes gears at weird times, it makes driving really uncomfortable and unpredictable. You might be cruising smoothly when the car suddenly drops to a lower gear for no reason, or shifts up when it should stay where it is. This happens because the bad solenoid is sending wrong signals or not responding correctly. It might get stuck, open and close at the wrong times, or just work in a really unstable way. The fluid flows irregularly, and your transmission doesn't know what to do. Over time, these rough, unexpected shifts cause serious damage. The parts inside slam together, wear out unevenly, and the whole system gets stressed out. What starts as an annoying bump while you're driving can quickly turn into a completely broken transmission if you don't fix the solenoid problem. 4. Warning light turns on. When you see a warning light on your dashboard, either it says something about the transmission or it's just the check engine light. Your car is trying to tell you something important. Modern cars have computers that constantly watch how the transmission is performing. When the computer notices the shift solenoid isn't working right, maybe it's too slow, not responding at all, or acting strange, it turns on the warning light to alert you. This is actually helpful because it catches problems early. Your car is basically saying, "Hey, I found something wrong with my transmission, and you need to check it out." Don't ignore this light. Take your car to a mechanic who can figure out exactly what's wrong. 5. Gears slip. Gear slipping is scary and dangerous. You're driving normally when suddenly it feels like your car dropped out of gear completely. The engine revs up loud, but you lose power. You're not moving as fast as you should be. Then suddenly, the gear catches again with a hard jolt. This happens because the solenoid can't keep steady pressure on the fluid. The fluid flows irregularly, making the gears engage and disengage without warning. Your transmission can't hold the gear in place, so it keeps slipping out. This is super dangerous on the highway. Imagine losing power while you're merging into traffic or going uphill. You could cause an accident. Plus, slipping gears destroy the inside of your transmission fast. The parts grind against each other and burn up. If your gears are slipping, fix the solenoid right away. This isn't something you can put off. 6. strange grinding or clunking sounds. Have you heard weird noises coming from your car when it changes gears? Grinding, clunking, or whining sounds are clear signs that your shift solenoid isn't working right. These noises happen because the solenoid isn't directing fluid properly. When that happens, the gears don't slide together smoothly. Instead, they bang into each other or only half connect. The grinding sound is gear teeth scraping together. The clunking is parts slamming together with too much force. The whining usually means something inside is struggling or under too much pressure. These sounds mean damage is happening right now, while you're driving. Your transmission is crying for help. To stop the damage and get rid of these noises, you need to find the bad solenoid and replace it. If you keep driving with these sounds, the repair will get way more expensive. 7. Car hesitates when you speed up. When you press the gas pedal, your car should respond smoothly. But if it hesitates, like it's confused about what to do, or suddenly jolts forward when you're trying to speed up, your shift solenoid is probably failing. This happens because the solenoid isn't letting the right amount of fluid through at the right time. Your transmission struggles to get into the correct gear. It's like trying to walk on a moving sidewalk that keeps stopping and starting. Your body doesn't know how to react, so you stumble and jolt forward. You'll really notice this when you're speeding up to get on the highway or trying to pass another car. Your car should smoothly move through the gears and build speed steadily. Instead, you get a weird pause where nothing happens, then a sudden jerk when the gear finally kicks in. This makes driving frustrating and shows that your transmission parts are under bad stress. 8. Car goes into safety mode. Modern cars have a protection feature that kicks in when they detect a big problem. When this happens, your car seriously limits its power and gets stuck in one low gear. You can't go fast, and you can barely accelerate. This safety mode, or limp mode, is your car protecting itself from more damage. It's like your car going into survival mode. You can still drive slowly to a repair shop or somewhere safe, but that's about it. This often happens because of a bad shift solenoid. When the solenoid fails completely or acts so crazy that the car's computer thinks it's dangerous to keep driving normally, safety mode activates. While this feature helps you get somewhere safe, it's a huge red flag that you have a serious problem. Don't try to keep driving like this. Get it fixed right away. 9. Using more gas than normal. Have you noticed you're filling up your gas tank way more often than usual? A failing shift solenoid can seriously hurt your fuel economy. When it's not working right, your transmission can't shift at the best times to keep your engine running efficiently. Here's why this matters. Your engine runs best at certain speeds. Your transmission's job is to pick the right gear to keep your engine in that perfect range. When a bad solenoid messes this up, your engine has to work way harder than it should, running at higher speeds and burning more gas to do the same job. You might see your gas mileage drop from 25 miles per gallon down to 20 or worse. That's a 20% jump in how much you're spending on gas, and it adds up fast. The bad gear changes caused by the broken solenoid mean your engine can't work efficiently. To stop wasting money at the pump, you need to fix that solenoid. 10. Burning smell. An unusual burning smell coming from your car is never good. When it's coming from the transmission area, it's often because of a bad shift solenoid. This smell is distinctive, kind of burnt and harsh, and it means your transmission fluid is getting too hot. When a solenoid fails, it messes up how the fluid moves through your transmission. This creates too much friction between the moving parts inside. That friction makes tons of heat, which causes the fluid to burn and give off that smell. Sometimes the parts themselves start burning too. When transmission fluid gets too hot, it can't protect and cool your transmission anymore. If you keep driving like this, things will wear out super fast and could break completely. If you smell burning, check your transmission fluid right away and get your car looked at by a mechanic. This is serious. Damage is happening right now. 11. Hard bumps when shifting. Changing gears should be smooth in an automatic transmission, so smooth you barely notice it happening. But when you feel a big bump, thud, or jolt every time the transmission shifts, something's wrong with your solenoid. This happens when the solenoid isn't controlling fluid pressure the right way. Instead of smoothly applying pressure to ease into the next gear, the pressure comes on too fast or too hard. You feel that harsh bang throughout your whole car. Not only is this uncomfortable for everyone in the car, but it's also damaging your transmission with every shift. Each hard bump puts serious stress on the parts inside. Over time, this repeated shock wears everything out faster and can cause bigger failures. Hard shifting means the delicate pressure balance inside your transmission is messed up. 12. Won't shift to lower gears. Shifting up through the gears is important, but so is shifting down when you need more power. When you're slowing down, going up a hill, or need to pass someone, your transmission should automatically drop to a lower gear. If it won't do that, a broken shift solenoid is usually why. The solenoid that handles downshifting might be stuck or completely broken. Without it working, the transmission can't move fluid where it needs to go to drop into a lower gear. You're stuck in a higher gear that doesn't give you enough power. This creates several problems. Your engine struggles and can't make enough power. You'll have trouble climbing hills or speeding up when you need to. And when you slow down, you're only using your brakes instead of letting the engine help, which wears out your brakes faster. You need to get this checked and fixed soon. 13. Transmission gets too hot. Your transmission makes a lot of heat when it's working, and it needs the fluid flowing properly to stay cool. When a shift solenoid breaks, it can mess up this cooling process, and your transmission starts overheating. A bad solenoid might make the transmission work harder than it should, holding gears too long, shifting roughly, or slipping. All of this makes extra heat. Plus, if the solenoid blocks the fluid from flowing right, the fluid can't carry heat away like it should. Many newer cars have a temperature warning for the transmission. If you see this warning, or if you have a gauge and see the temperature climbing way up, a bad solenoid could be causing it. Overheating is really bad for transmissions. It ruins the fluid, warps metal parts, and destroys seals. If your transmission is overheating, stop driving as soon as you safely can and get it checked. 14. Fluid leaking under your car. While the shift solenoid itself doesn't usually leak, when it's broken it can create pressure problems inside your transmission that cause leaks somewhere else. Too much pressure from a stuck solenoid can force fluid past seals and gaskets, or through the bottom pan. You might see red or brownish fluid pooling under your car, or spots on your driveway where you normally park. The fluid might smell sweet or burnt, depending on its condition. Even a small leak is bad because your transmission needs a specific amount of fluid to work right. As the level drops, what's left gets hotter, shifts get rougher, and the risk of serious damage goes way up. If you find a transmission fluid leak, check your fluid level right away using the dipstick. Add more fluid if you need to, but understand this is just temporary. You need to find where it's leaking and see if a bad solenoid is causing the pressure problem. Fixing the solenoid will often stop the leak. 15. Engine shakes when stopped in gear. When you're stopped at a red light with your foot on the brake and the car in drive, everything should feel smooth and steady. But if you notice weird shaking or rough vibration specifically when you're in gear, a shift solenoid problem might be affecting another part called the torque converter. Some cars have a special solenoid that controls when the torque converter locks up. If this solenoid breaks, it can cause the torque converter to lock at the wrong times or not unlock when it should. This creates a rough, shaking feeling that you can feel through the steering wheel and seats. You might also notice that the shaking stops when you shift into neutral or park. This helps prove that it's a transmission problem and not something wrong with your engine. This symptom affects how comfortable your car is to drive and shows that the solenoid isn't responding to the computer's commands correctly. 16. Problem comes and goes. One of the most frustrating things about a dying shift solenoid is when the problem keeps appearing and disappearing randomly. Your transmission might work perfectly fine for a few days, then suddenly start shifting hard, delaying, or slipping, only to go back to normal a little while later. This on and off behavior usually means the solenoid is slowly dying instead of completely dead. It might be getting stuck sometimes, or it could have a loose wire that disconnects when the transmission heats up or when you hit a bump. The parts inside the solenoid might be wearing out, causing it to work sometimes but not others. These come-and-go problems are tough to figure out because they might not happen when a mechanic is test driving your car. But they're a clear warning that the solenoid is breaking down and will eventually stop working completely. Try to remember when it happens, what you were doing, how long you'd been driving, the weather, etc., because this information helps mechanics find the problem faster. 17. Takes too long to shift. A good transmission shifts between gears in a split second, so fast you barely feel it. But when a shift solenoid starts breaking, you'll notice it takes much longer for the transmission to complete the shift. Instead of that quick, crisp gear change, there's a long period where the transmission seems like it's searching for the right gear. You can feel the engine speed climbing as the car keeps accelerating, but the shift doesn't happen right away. Then, after what feels like forever, the transmission finally grabs the next gear. This long shift time happens because the solenoid isn't sending fluid pressure fast enough. The pressure builds more slowly than it should, so it takes longer for everything inside to engage fully. This slow engagement creates extra heat and wears out the parts inside your transmission. It's a sign that the solenoid can't respond quickly anymore. 18. Car struggles to start. Most automatic cars won't let you start the engine unless you're in park or neutral. This is a safety feature. However, some transmission problems related to shift solenoids can make it hard for your car to start even when it's properly in park. If a shift solenoid is stuck or broken in a certain way, it can prevent the transmission from fully letting go of the engine. This creates resistance that makes your starter motor work much harder. You might notice that the engine cranks really slowly or struggles to turn over when you turn the key or press the start button. Sometimes the car won't start at all. This doesn't happen as often as other signs on this list, but it does occur with certain types of transmissions. If you're having trouble starting your car and you also have other transmission symptoms, ask a mechanic to check if a stuck shift solenoid is preventing the transmission from fully releasing the engine. 19. Pause before reverse or drive engages. When you shift from park into reverse or drive, the transmission should engage almost immediately. But if there's a long pause before you feel the car actually go into gear, your shift solenoid might be failing. You'll shift the lever and then wait and wait before you finally feel that little bump that tells you the transmission has engaged. During this pause, you might give it more gas thinking something's wrong, only to have the car lurch forward or backward when the gear finally catches. This delayed engagement happens because the solenoid isn't directing fluid quickly enough to engage the gear. The longer you wait, the longer it takes for pressure to build up inside the transmission. Not only is this annoying and makes parking maneuvers awkward, but it also puts stress on your transmission parts every time it happens. 20. Makes whining noise when driving. Beyond the grinding and clunking we talked about earlier, another sound to listen for is a high-pitched whining noise that changes as you speed up or slow down. This whining often indicates that your transmission pump is working too hard or that fluid isn't flowing properly through the system. A bad shift solenoid can create resistance in the fluid passages, making the pump struggle to push fluid where it needs to go. The pump has to work harder, creating that distinctive whining sound. You might also hear this noise because improper pressure is making other components vibrate or resonate in ways they shouldn't. This whining noise is different from normal transmission sounds. It's noticeably louder and often gets worse as the transmission heats up or when you accelerate. It's your transmission telling you that something is making it work harder than it should. Combined with any other symptoms on this list, a whining noise strongly suggests a solenoid problem that needs attention. There you have it, the complete list of 20 warning signs that your transmission shift solenoid is failing. Some of these symptoms are easy to miss. Others hit you right in the face. But now that you know what to watch for, you're ready to catch these problems early, before they turn into a massive transmission failure that empties your wallet. Remember, your transmission is one of the most important and expensive parts in your vehicle. Taking care of it by fixing shift solenoid problems quickly will save you thousands of dollars, keep you safe on the road, and make your car last much longer. If you found this guide helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps other drivers find this information when they need it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Car Care HQ so you never miss our practical car care tips and easy-to-understand troubleshooting guides. We're here to help you keep your vehicle running smoothly and avoid getting ripped off at the repair shop. Thanks for watching Car Care HQ. Take care of your car, and it'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next video.